Before we begin this presentation, we would like to acknowledge the traditional and original owners of this continent and pay respect to today's Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait communities who are its custodians, including in particular their past, present and future elders. Welcome to our Open Day. We're here to talk to you about the importance of humanities in your child's education. Throughout this short video, Paul, Kelly, Murray and I will inform you on why Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives are included in your child's education, as well as how it is taught and how we celebrate your child's work. Hi, I'm Samantha. I'd like to start by first asking, what is humanities? The humanities gives students the chance to explore their world. This includes the world they live in today, the world that existed in the past, and the world that will exist in the future. Humanities includes the study of history, geography, civics and citizenship, and economics and business. Your child will be learning about how the world became how it is today, to appreciate that process, and how the world will continue to change, and where they fit into that. So, why should your child be learning about the humanities? As stated in the Australian curriculum, in a world that is increasingly culturally diverse and dynamically interconnected, it is important that students come to understand their world, past and present, and develop a capacity to respond to challenges, now and in the future, in innovative, informed, personal and collective ways. The humanities help students to deepen their understanding of themselves, the people around them, their communities, and in the later years, the wider world. Knowledge of the humanities at a young age enables students to develop an awareness of their identity, their place in time and space, and the significance within the social, cultural, and religious communities in which they live. Your child will become more aware of what's around them. They will become educated in the different lives people live and have lived in regards to different cultures and backgrounds. What skills and qualities will your child gain from learning the humanities? The humanities give students the opportunity to challenge themselves. It encourages awareness and critical questioning of values and beliefs, and empowers them to have their own view of the world, helping them to develop their own identity. The humanities not only engenders respect for students' individual cultures, but also cultures of the people around them and different cultures of the world. Students develop skills of empathy as they are educated on the lifestyle and struggles of others, past and present. It gives students ideas to challenge in terms of what is right for equality and justice. The humanities curriculum fosters social justice and equality, which is an issue within the Australian cultures and the world. It teaches students to weigh evidence skeptically and consider more than one side of every question. The humanities curriculum at our school aims to empower students and to give them the power to interpret and respond to events that affect their lives. It encourages us to think creatively about issues and creates critical citizens. Without the humanities, democracy could not flourish. The humanities is essential in ensuring that your child receives a well-rounded education, and we are dedicated to ensure that your child receives the education they deserve.
The Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership is the promotion of excellence within the teaching profession. As teachers, it is our responsibility to incorporate strategies for teaching Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students, understand and respect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to promote reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians within our pedagogical practices. In combination with the Australian Institute for Teaching and School Leadership, as educators it is crucial to implement the cross-curriculum priorities within our teaching practices, as it helps young learners to be equipped with the skills, knowledge and understanding that will enable them to connect with the content with important issues in an always changing society. As we are all aware, there are 3 cross-curriculum priorities. However, for this video, our main focus will be on the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures priority. The purpose of this priority enables all learners to expand their knowledge of Australia by being introduced to one of the world's oldest continuous living cultures. This knowledge and understanding will enrich the learner's ability to participate positively in the ongoing development of Australia. Like any other cross-curriculum priorities, it can be implemented within all learning areas. For example, in English, Level 1, teachers are required to engage students with a variety of texts for enjoyment, which includes Aboriginal stories, picture books, various types of stories, rhyming verses, poetry, etc. To help teachers further understand and gain experience in relation to these two focus areas, the Respect, Reconciliation and Relationships program provide resources to support teacher educators in delivering Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders education units by the use of teacher education programs. The unit outline is designed into 3 separate but interconnected modules. Module 1, Know Yourself, Know Your World, which focuses on respect, relationships, rights and reconciliation, values, culture, identity and knowledges, and anti-racism. Module 2, Know Your Students, focuses on quality teaching, inclusive pedagogy, building positive relationships, and working with local Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Module 3, Know What You Teach, focuses on Australian Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander identities, land, colonization, alienation and cultural intrusion, systems of relationships, responsibilities and reciprocity, significant episodes and events, and demographics as an Indigenous imperative. We've mentioned how teachers can incorporate Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history, culture and traditions through the use of different teaching approaches within the classroom, but how would educators involve the whole entire school? Throughout the different school settings within Australia, schools tend to celebrate popular yearly events such as Book Week and Multicultural Day. To help inform the school of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander history and culture, educators can implement significant dates within the Aboriginal calendar. Dates such as National Reconciliation Week celebrates and builds on the respectful relationships shared by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and other Australians. The dates that bookend the week are significant milestones in the reconciliation journey. Teachers can celebrate National Reconciliation Week through whole school activities. Activities such as Reconciliation Walk is where schools are divided into buddy classes and walk through the school grounds or do a lap around the oval whilst playing appropriate music during the walk. Start or end the walk at your school's flagpoles and have some students read out information about Australian, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags. This is also a great opportunity to invite parents and community members to join staff and students on the Reconciliation Walk.
Hi, my name is Murray, and my question is a pedagogical explanation how we teach humanities at my school. So, at my school is Whittlesea Secondary College, and it has a huge focus on teaching humanities. This school is from a low socioeconomic area, so the students who come are from a real low working class sort of family. A lot of them don't have the internet at home. They like more hands-on sort of stuff. So that's what this school tries to provide. We have many different strategies at this school to help students learn humanities. So for example, this is written strategies, verbal, and we actually like to explore what we're teaching. So what I mean by this is we actually get out of the classroom and go into the countryside to see certain things. We live right near a national park, Kinglake National Park to be exact, and this is a great resource for humanity classes as we can go out and actually explore the lands in which we're talking about. So if we're looking at sort of wildlife and native wildlife to Australia, we can go there and pretty much ensure that we will see a lyrebird or a kangaroo or something native that is really important to the lands that we live in. We use nature as our classroom a lot of times. Instead of having class inside the classroom, we like to go outside, sit in the sun, connect a bit more with the environment. This helps a lot with some of the students as it's a bit more inviting. It's not so much as just going to a classroom and learn, they actually have a bit of fun. We like to also relate a lot of our topics back to real life so the students can experience stuff that's happened in their personal life. So for example, if they're going to and from school every day seeing an old building in the Whittlesea area, in the township, we might go and research that, search what the background was of it, what it has done for the community, why it was so significant and important. And these are great opportunities for the students to learn different things. This is a huge area we like to focus on because we believe that understanding our surroundings leads to understanding the culture that we live in. And this is extremely important because it helps with the past, the present, and most likely what will be happening in the future within this area. We also include a lot of Aboriginal studies as that's a really important and major aspect to Australian history and is something that the school heavily focuses on. So when we structure our lessons, we do a lot of lesson structure around Aboriginals and how they contributed and pretty much helped Australia survive and populate and just be what it is today. Without knowing the Aboriginal history, we truly question how Australia has got to be what it is today. To know the future, we must understand the past, and Aboriginals were Australian history. Like, that is what we should be focusing on. It is not enough in most schools, and that is why Whittlesea tries to really focus on this area and make it important so the students know what's been happening. It's also about respect and understanding that these people were here before us and that we should respect their ideals and their culture and what they did, as a lot of days now we kind of disrespect that and forget about what they did for our community and Australia. My excursion that I went on was to the Kinglake National Park, where I was able to talk to one of the rangers, and this was a fantastic opportunity as they knew all the information to do with the area. They took me on a tour to see many of the different sites and talked me through everything. So if there was a tree, they would discuss what the tree did, how it's significant, and how the Aboriginals would use it. So they'd pull the bark off and find grubs under it, food source, maybe fire source, building material. It was all to do with relating it back to the humanities classroom and how I can teach it and become a better teacher in that way. It was free, so if we were to do an excursion up there, we could get the students to just sign a form and organise it with the park rangers, and we could easily go up there and take the whole class there for a day. You could lose yourself there for the whole day, wouldn't need to come back to school until the end of the day. There's so much to see and do, so much history, and the park ranger was extremely knowledgeable and understanding of what I was trying to teach and what sort of specific areas I needed to focus on. So the history that I learnt was fantastic, and I believe that any humanities class would greatly benefit from this and appreciate an excursion like this, as it's really engaging, fun, and it's just a fantastic activity all around. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm going to talk to you about the National Gallery of Victoria at the Federation Square. The NGV is a great place to go on an excursion with students or even preschoolers, as when I went there in particular over the holidays, there was an exhibit open to the public, preschoolers, schoolers of any age, where you could connect with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community members and paint pots with them. I thought that was amazing, as it embraces both different types of cultures and they get to connect with each other while they're painting. Also at the NGV, there's an amazing whole bunch of arts exhibits of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artworks. There's sculptures, paintings, drawings, lots of different types of things. They are from all different places around Australia, not just in Victoria. There's a lot from the Northern Territory and Western Australia in particular. One in particular amazed me. It was a bird's eye view of an Aboriginal community as a mosaic. And I thought that was just great, as the students could see the difference in communities, especially how they're set up, where people live and all that kind of stuff. So the NGV at Federation Square would be an excellent excursion for any age group.
An excursion to Birrarungma is a great learning opportunity for students when focusing on Melbourne's history. Students can discover how the Wurundjeri peoples survived off the land and river before white settlement. This is also an opportunity to discuss the Woiwurrung language and the significance of the river and land to the Wurundjeri people. Both of these aspects are included in the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cross-curriculum studies, as well as in the Year 3 of the Humanities History strand, stating that students must develop understanding of the heritage of their local area, including the importance of country to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Students also take part in a walking tour of the park, which explores the culture of the traditional owners within the Kulin Nation.
Hi, I'm Kelly and I'm here to talk to you about assessment and celebrating students' work. So as humanities teachers, we must complete assessments frequently and efficiently so that student knowledge and concepts can be properly assessed and reported. So there are multiple forms of assessment. Traditionally, in humanities education, there are exams, essays, project work, and group assessments ranging from P to 12. In the primary school especially, project work is common, but I'm going to talk to you a bit about the advantages and disadvantages of different types of assessment. So exams and tests are great as they take no time at all to complete, as well as students are likely to study the content beforehand, so they're more likely to remember facts during the exam. However, they are stressful due to unfamiliar environment and an overwhelming fear of failure. Without any materials to study, students feel a bit overwhelmed by this. Also, feedback in exams are usually low towards non-existent. In high school education, essays are very common for historical or humanities subjects. They're always great because students get to be a bit creative and approach questions in ways they feel comfortable with, as well as they get time to plan them. However, a lot of students, believe it or not, in the 21st century, can be technologically illiterate, which may reflect in their results, and also pushes toward inequality in the work such as posters, diagrams, and presentations is often completed throughout primary education, as well as in the early stages of secondary school. They're excellent assessments because they do enhance students' social and communication skills, as they're usually completed in groups. The projects themselves are an advantage as the students get to explore their creativity and develop research skills. Also, the students do learn time management, especially in group work. And a disadvantage of project work would be the time often dedicated to completing them. So they are completed over a couple of weeks, a term or semester. Exams, essays, and project work are common forms of assessment in the humanities classroom. Other traditional forms of assessment include presentations, multiple choice, short answer, and document analysis tasks. However, micro-assessments or in-class activities are often utilised by humanities teachers as they allow us to correctly and efficiently assess student knowledge. As humanities teachers, we shouldn't rely purely on set assessment tasks such as exams and essays to test for student knowledge. Simply and daily in-class tasks can be completed to add to your student reporting and on progress and flexibility in the classroom. These assessments shouldn't only reflect on student content knowledge and your teaching, but development of integral skills. For example, in Foundation to Level 2, students are expected to learn the skill of distinguishing between the past, present, and future. This skill can be assessed by having a lesson on timelines where students would place the events in chronological order from their dates. Secondly, in grades 7 and 8, students are able to locate, compare, select, and use information from a range of sources as evidence. This skill can be achieved by sharing a lesson about paper and online primary and secondary source. Student skill proficiency can be added to your reporting of student progress. Finally, to celebrate students' work specific to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander humanities education, the students should share their achievements with their Indigenous community to promote relationships and respect among community members. This may be achieved by attending a historical site or place and presenting their work to elders in the community. Holding an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander humanities inquiry night at the school, where the students' work could be on display at the gym, would also open the immediate public or select members of the community to the work that's completed in the classroom. To celebrate students' work general to the humanities, students could present their findings at an assembly to the whole school or in medium or larger size groups, display their work around the classroom, in the office, or another focal building in the school or community. Thank you.